Now comes the darkest chapter of this guide, where we face the terrifying concept of defense. Rule number 2 is to use block. Why? Many reasons. First and foremost, block fills the ATB, while unblocked damage slows or stops the ATB. Please see rule number 1. And I know what you're thinking. What about hacky-slashy dodge, Dick? Well, dodge has no invincibility. Doesn't come with the same rewards as block, and there are common situations designed to punish it. I will now give 3 quick examples of this. Example 1, Cloud is taking damage from everywhere. Dodge here means getting hit, which slows or stops the ATB. Instead, block is filling the ATB. Dodge that, sucker. Example 2, Tifa kicking ass. But notice all the enemy attacks being telegraphed. See the names here? Fire, fire, fire. Single window of invincibility isn't saving anybody from a chain of homing attacks. Kaboom. Example 3, there's always the case of constant damage like this flamethrower, which would have hit me even if I had an iframe or 2. Don't get me wrong, we still hacky-slashy dodge, but its use is a mobility tool that cancels a lot of animations. I mean, check this wacky bullshit out. Dodge, uppercut, dodge, uppercut, dodge, uppercut. LOL, right? Let's do a more practical example with Cloud. After using basic attack to zip, I'm gonna use dodge to correct myself when I start whiffing my attacks. Next, I use dodge to reposition Cloud against the wall. The strategy here is to draw multiple enemies towards him and then toss some AoE. Yes. Finally, I use dodge to escape Punisher when I carelessly activate it. Now check this out. I'm gonna mash right into an attack. Watch my ATB bar. It's gonna stop. Had I canceled my swings into block instead, or only blocked, I would have gained ATB. Then I could counterattack for more ATB and finish my enemy faster. GG, noob. Dodge is an important tool for positioning and staying nimble, but when used as a crutch, it's only a matter of time before I run into attacks and lose ATB. On the other hand, using block is low risk. Lets me create openings, cancels out of some animations, not as many as dodge, turns resource losses into gains, and finally, can be exploited and built around. Block is good. Block is my friend. First example about block, Aerith, who is a punching bag without good defense, and her dodge sucks without parry materia. Ding ding ding, turn 1, multiple enemies, what do? I don't do shit. I wait for the enemy to attack, I block, and then attack. The strategy is called punishing, and it's your friend and mine. Thanks to block, both enemies are wide open for a second, and I can punish with a quick 1-2 dodge. You see how the second hit of Aerith's attack hits multiple targets? The dodge is to keep enemies on screen for that. However, upon repositioning, the situation changes and now I know an attack is coming. So, I use 1-2 block, and it fails. This is because I should have just blocked. Extra attacks were unnecessary. Aerith already has full ATB, and her magical attacks have staggered the enemy quite a bit. I really just need to finish it. To do so, I'm going to use Aerith's powerful Tempest routine. Tempest is Aerith's unique attack, and the routine is very simple. Spend ATB, Tempest, spend ATB, Tempest, etc., etc. Once again, I don't just do it. I wait for the right moment, block an attack, and punish. Once I have my opening, step 1 is to cast Wind, which can normally pull enemies into a neat little pile. Next comes the fully charged unique attack, which gives ATB on impact, and then multiple ticks ATB when it starts AoE exploding. See how these two work together? Because of the ATB gains, I could theoretically loop this forever, but instead I just finish the job. I cast another Wind, follow up with Soul Drain to restore MP, swag finish with Sorcerer's Storm. All this was possible because I slowed down and waited for an opening. This is the fundamental advantage of using block, and it's one of the ways you get to make Aerith the Destroyer instead of the Destroyed. Block also comes with the massive benefit of rewarding ATB. This next example with Tifa will show that because of ATB, blocking potentially ends fights faster than just aggression. First thing, turn 1, I run up, trade hits with the enemy, and my ATB stops. It was pointless. I immediately realized my mistake, block, and voila, my ATB goes up. Had I simply blocked and punished, I would have gotten ATB from an attack, then ATB from a block, and then ATB from a counterattack, instead of this stop-start malarkey. Block, then attack. See? I go aggressive and knock the guy over, but instantly pay for it and take a huge hit. Look at the ATB, frozen for damn near 2 seconds. Brutal. In response, I get smart, and I start canceling my attacks into block. They cast ice, I block the first hit, dodge to escape the AoE from the second, and then try for a punish. I go aggressive, again, get hit, again, and then remember to use block again. Of course, at this point, the fight's over. The enemy staggers and I wipe him out. It doesn't mean anything. The lesson is that anytime I take damage, I get double or even triple fucked. I lose health, my attacks get interrupted, and I lose ATB. Meanwhile, just standing around blocking actually feeds my offense by giving me ATB, and creating opportunities to punish to boot. All of this is exactly why when Cloud is surrounded, tanking aggro from multiple enemies, he's fine. His regular block is already good, but he also has parry, aka super block. There's even two ways to parry. The first is to activate Punisher and hold block, which takes a sec. The second is the skill-based option, shown here, where I just pressed unique attack. The animation for switching to Punisher counts as a parry, and according to my research is about 7,000 frames long. Thanks to block and super block, Cloud never takes knockback. ATB is always going up, and as a result, he can tank aggro while performing any role. Finally, that brings us to Barret, who thanks to block tanks damage instead of aggro. Damage mitigation is just another number to be exploited. These are RPGs. So first I need to switch to Barret, and you know the routine, right? Overcharge. Switch to Barret, use overcharge, spend ATB, right? Wrong. These are routines, and routines are flexible. I'm not going to switch off of Barret, and instead I'm just going to sit here gaining ATB after overcharge, and then use that to fuel another routine, Lifesaver. Routines also leave margin for error because in truth I've been making a mistake this whole time with overcharge. I should be canceling everything Barret does into charge, which restores the cooldown of overcharge. You can see me canceling the final shot of Barret's clip into it here, but I'm so inconsistent with it from this point forward, I wanted to point it out to you so that you aren't. So, Lifesaver routine. This is where I activate Lifesaver to absorb damage, activate Steel Skin to reduce damage, and then do everything I can in my power to not die. This can be anywhere from 1 to 200 actions. Once Lifesaver activates, a flashing red light appears next to Barret's health because this game wants to remind me that Lifesaver is deadly. It works like this: when a teammate takes damage, Barret takes a reduced amount of that damage, and if he doesn't die, heals the ally for that value. It's extremely dangerous, but if I pay attention, my whole team becomes harder to kill. I quick use ATB boost, something I'll cover later, for a free ATB, and here's the important part. Barret blocks the spin kick. Pay special note to that damage because I'm about to nerf it into oblivion. Upon recovery, I activate Steel Skin, a long-lasting damage reduction buff, which is supposed to be signified by these sparks, but I don't know, I can never see this shit. Next, I activate Barrier, which is another damage reduction, and from this point forward, I just block. Turtle mode, go. To the untrained eye, Barret looks like he's getting his ass kicked, but really I'm just biding my time. Barret just blocks this relentless assault, which gives him ATB, and then he uses that ATB to heal with Chakra. Chakra, of course, is a heal that costs no MP and heals a percentage of missing health. It never heals to full, but that doesn't matter. Barret has a ton of health to lose. Fights in this game are like wars of attrition. The reality is that Barret is basically invincible, gaining ATB, and the enemy is just withering away. Look, another spin kick. 48 damage. Unblocked, that attack probably did hundreds. This isn't even optimized. Factor in late game equipment, materia, and upgrades, and we're talking about ridiculous reductions like 1/16th or 1/32th. I can rig anyone to block like this, but Barret's is obviously the best, and yeah, his dodge sucks too, by the way. In conclusion, defense in this game is about thinking ahead instead of reacting. When you really break it down, all I did in this fight was tank a bunch of damage while my AI partners wore the enemy away with their crappy offense. You know, if you look closely at the AI, 1, 2, 3 dodge, 1, 2, 3 block, it's using the same playstyle I've been describing. The AI's damage is bad, sure, but its priority is not dying instead. That's a good thing. When the player uses this playstyle, the controlled character gets a ton of ATB, and it improves their damage. In other words, the AI is giving a constant clue for how to properly fight in this game, aka don't commit to basic attacks, prioritize positioning, and always cancel into block or dodge when appropriate. Block doesn't seem important at first, but it becomes do or die by the end of the game. The systems are all designed with the belief that everyone will inevitably take damage, so I should block and turn it into ATB, instead of trying to run from it and be perfect. Being perfect is for people who want to retry fights 200 times. Personally, I'm having too much fun to be perfect. That's why you see me make mistakes constantly.